Okay, so this section is section 3.5 and it's dealing with the slope-intercept form. Okay, so remember the slope-intercept form is just y is equal to mx plus b, right? So that's our slope-intercept form. So, so here we're given a graph, and then based off this graph, we need to write the equation of this line in slope-intercept form. Okay, so to use the graph let's just use the graph to our advantage. Okay. So in this case, all right, so remember let me use a different color here. So remember M represents the slope. Okay. All right, so M represents the slope. And then what does the B represent again? Y-intercept. Good. Right? So that's the Y-intercept. Okay. So in this case, what is the Y-intercept? What's the Y-intercept here? I'll make this a little bit bigger. What is the y-intercept? -1, right? It's right here, right? This is where it crosses the y-axis. So that crosses the y-axis at -1. So our y-intercept is -1. Well, what about the slope? What's the slope here? Can't we use rise over run? Right, we're given a graph. Okay, so saying 3. So let's see. So if I draw my triangle, right, because I want the ones that are going to cross on the grid line exactly, right? So it crosses here. I don't want this one because it's not crossing both the X and Y part there. All right, it doesn't make that plus sign. And then again, I don't want that point either. Okay, so I want the exact one. So that, right? So if I were to draw, you know, draw this triangle, I would have this triangle here, correct? So it's going to rise what? 3, 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. Okay, so the rise over 1 is 3 over 1, or just 3, right? And this is a positive slope. So in this case, then our equation would be y is equal to 3x minus 1. Okay. Okay, question there. All right, so once you guys try the next one here, same thing, use the graph to write down the slope-intercept form. Okay, thank you to those who have submitted their answers. So um, we need to, based off of this graph here, we need to write the equation of the line, right? Which is the slope-intercept form. So y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, so the b there, right, is the y-intercept. So it's going to cross at exactly 1. So this will just be 1. And then the slope, right, the rate of change is going to go up 2, right? So 1, 2, up 2 over 1, or you can go down 2 over 1, right? So we need to be careful since this is a negative slope, then we should have a negative in the front. So even I wrote down 2 over 1, right? That should just be 2, but then don't forget that it is a negative slope. So we have negative 2x plus 1. Okay, so this would be our slope-intercept form for this line. Okay, all right, so let's keep going here. So let's say we have this here, right? So we just want to graph this, okay? So it's given in slope-intercept form, so let's just graph it. So for the first one here, okay, all right, I'm going to start, right? So the B is their starting point. So that's the one here, okay? So I'm going to go up one, right? So I'm going to go up one, put a point there. So go up one, put a point there. Then it says, okay, I want you to rise 2 over 3. So that's going to be 1, 2 over 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we just draw our line going through those 2 points. And that will be your answer there. Okay. Then I do exactly the same thing for this one, but this time it says a negative 3. So I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3, put a point there. Then I'm going to go up 1 because it's a positive half. Up 1 over 2. 1, 2. Okay. And then draw my line through. Okay. So what about the next one? Okay. So I'm doing the same thing. I got a plus 2, so I'm going to go up 2. Then I have a negative here. Okay. So I have a negative 3/4. So I can have that negative on the top. I can have that negative in the middle, or I can have that negative in the bottom. Okay. Doesn't matter. They all mean the same thing. So let's say I have this here. Okay. So I'm going to go, so what did I do? I was at 2, starting 2. Then I have a plus 3. So I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And then normally I go to the right, but since it's negative, I'm going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So then I just connect my dots there. So remember that, your graph should coincide with the um, if it's positive or negative in front of that slope. In this case, it's negative, so we should have a negative slope. Okay. All right. So why don't you guys try one and try number 5 here. Okay. So we have a person here that drew the graph for us. Okay. What's one way to verify whether our graph and the equation match? Or what is one way? What do we know about the slope here for this equation? What do we know? Is it positive or negative? Looking at number 5 here. It's negative, right? The slope of the equation is negative, correct? So, okay, so here it's negative, correct? All right. So, but what about the graph that's been drawn? Do we have a positive or a negative slope that's drawn? It's positive. Okay. the positive slope. So that tells us something went something went wrong, right? In the step of trying to graph this. Because these should be, if this is negative, okay, then this graph should be going this direction, right? It should also be negative. Okay, so let's see. So we want to start at -1, okay? So that means we go down 1 and we stay there. We don't go back up, right? And then we have -3 over x. Well, I can write -3 as -3 over 1. So this is saying like y is equal to -3 over 1 x minus 1. Okay. So that's okay. So we can rewrite that. So we're going to go down 1. Okay. Put a dot there. And then we're going to go down 3 and over 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. And this should be our answer right here. Okay. So for this one, um, we want to, so previous ones, they already gave us in y equals form. So we didn't have to do anything, just all we have to do is graph it. For this one, we have to do a little bit more work. Okay. And of course, it's not going to line up. Oh, maybe it did. Okay. So we need to solve for y first, and then we can graph our equation. Okay. So when we solve for y here, we get y equals 3 half x plus 1, and then I just all of those points there and then connect the dots to create my line. Okay. Okay, so again, the first thing we need to do is we need to write it in slope-intercept form. Okay, so we have -3x minus 5y equals 10. So then we're going to add 3x to both sides. So that cancels, giving us -5y equals 3x plus 10. Okay, then we're going to divide everything by 5, -5. Okay, so we get what? Um, y is equal to, this is -3/5 x, correct? -3/5 x. Positive divided by negative is a negative, and then we have 10 divided by -5, which is going to give us -2. Okay, so we should have -3/5 x minus 2. Okay, all right. So now we graph it. So we have down 2, 1, 2, and then down 3. We don't go back to the origin, we stay at where the first point we're at. So down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 5. 2. Okay, then we need to correct, connect the dots. Okay, so in this case, again, they want us to find the the slope-intercept form here. So again, that's just mean y is equal to mx plus b. Okay. So how do we do that for this? We have a table here, horizontal table. How do we do that? So basically, see if you can try to figure this out. So we have a table here. How can we create this equation based off of this table? All right, so they want us to, again, create or find the equation of this table, this set of points. Okay, so they're all, line up in some kind of line. Okay, so that means it doesn't matter which point you pick. Okay, so remember these, this is a pair here, so you're gonna have negative two. No, negative two, negative four, that's one pair. The other pair is going to be zero, negative two, and then the third pair will be two, zero. Okay. So those are the coordinates that we have. Okay. So just like I said before, it doesn't really matter which point you pick because they're all on the line. So I can pick these two here, or I can pick the next two. Doesn't matter. So just to practice on our negatives, I'm going to pick the first two. Okay. So I'm going to pick these 2 points here. So in this case, I'm going to make this my x1, y1, and this one will be my x2, y2. Okay. So I have my slope formula. So y2 is negative 2 minus negative 4, and then x2 is 0 minus negative 2. So we get negative 2 plus 4, and then 0 plus 2. Okay. So we get what? A positive 2 on the top. Negative 2 plus 4 is a positive 2 divided by 2, which gives us 1. So that's our slope. Okay, so our slope is 1. So now we need to find the b, the y-intercept. Okay, well, I'm going to show you two ways. So one way is the method one. It's a different color here. Okay, so method one, I already know what my m is. I just need to find b. And we can also get x and y because that's what these are, right? This is an x, this is a y, okay? So I'm going to choose, or this is an x and this is a y. I'm going to choose these 2 points, okay? So I'm choosing the point 2, 0. Okay, and then that's going to be my X and Y. And what do I do with that? I'm going to plug it in for my slope-intercept form. So we have Y is equal to mx plus b. All right, so I know my m already, which is 1, and then my x is 2. Okay, and then my y is 0. Okay, so then I have the plus b. So I just solve for b. I said 1 times 2 is 2. Then I subtract 2 on both sides. So we get b is equal to negative 2. Okay. So in this case, then my answer would be 1x minus 2, or just x minus 2. All right, so I said I was going to show two methods. The other method, okay, is looking at our table. It says we have 0, -2, and 2, 0. So 0, -2, which is this one, and then 2, 0 as our second one. Okay. Why did I pick those? Well, I know those are going to be crossing the axes, right? So we have 0, um, -2. So 0, -2, 1, 2, which is down here, and then 2, 0, 1, 2. Okay. So then our equation or our graphs will look something like this. Okay. So it crosses at -2, right? That's where it crosses. So that's why we have a -2 for our B, because it crosses at that point. Okay. And that would be what? 0, -2. Okay. Okay. Here is the meat of our um, lesson. Okay, so here we want to find the slope-intercept form of the se- of the set of the line. That's what I had. We want to find the slope-intercept form of the line satisfying the given conditions. And this is parallel to y equals 3x plus 1 passing through -2, 1. Okay, parallel to y equals 3x plus 1 passing through -2, 1. Okay, so what does it mean to be parallel? What do we know about the slopes to be in order for them to be parallel? They have to be the same, right? So in this case, then for our new equation, okay, this is going to be our new equation. We're going to have the same slope. So in this case, what's my slope? What's my slope here? 3, right? This is the only equation they gave us so far, right? So our slope for this is 3. This is our slope, okay? So we want to find something that's parallel to this, passing through -2, 1, okay? So we're going to write m is equal to 3, okay? And we want it to go through the point -2, 1, okay? So we want it to go through this point. Well, we need to write our equation, y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, so this is going to be our x and that's going to be our y. Why did I label that? Because that's what we need. Because right now we don't know b, right? We don't know b. That's what we need to look for. So, but we have all the information that we need to find b. Okay, we said that y is equal to 1, m is equal to 3, x is equal to -2, and then plus b. Okay. All right. So again, our goal here is to solve for b. So I'll have 1 is equal to -6 plus b. Add 6 to both sides. Gives us 7 equals b. Okay, so this one cancels. So in this case, then our final equation, or in slope-intercept form, is going to be y is equal to 3x plus 7. Okay, so y is equal to 3x plus 7. So this is the equation that's parallel to this equation. Okay. Okay, so for this one, we want to do the same thing. We want to find the slope-intercept form of the line satisfying the given conditions. So we have 2x plus 4y equals 5. Okay. And it's going through 1, 2. Okay. So find the slope-intercept form of this line going through 1, 2. Again, they're parallel. And once you have that, please post it. Okay, we're running out of time here, so let's go through this. Okay. All right, so we have 2x plus 4y is equal to 5 and it's passing through the point 1, 2. Okay, so first what we need to do is we need to write this in um, slope-intercept form. Okay, so we need to solve this for y, right? And again, this is parallel, right? So again, this is talking about parallel. Okay, so it was the exact same question as this one, okay, but it's parallel. So, so in this case, we have 2x plus 4y equals 5. Subtract 2x on both sides. We get 4y is equal to negative 2x plus 5, and then divide everything by 4. Okay, so we get negative 1/2 x plus 5 over 4. Okay. All we want here is this one. So m is equal to negative half from that, okay? Because it's going to go through this point here. So, so I'm going to write y is equal to mx plus b, okay? And this is going to be my x and my y. X1. So y is 2, m we found out was negative 1/2, okay? And then x is 1 based off of this. And then plus b. Again, I don't know what my b is. Okay. So we have 2 equals negative half times 1 is still negative half plus b. Then we're going to add a half on both sides. Okay. So 2 plus a half will be 2.5 or 5 over 2. Okay. And that's equal to b, right? And then we can write our equation. So 5 halves, sorry, y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 5 over 2.